47 Meters Down, Uncaged is the unnecessary cash grab sequel to 47 Meters Down that came out a few years ago. 47 Meters Down was a movie that I thought was kind of whatever. It's just there. Nothing great about it, nothing even mediocre about it. Just kind of, whatever. Throwaway summer movie. This one focuses on a group of 4 friends who decide to go to an underwater city to discover its whereabouts and are attacked by sharks. And we have a movie. It really has the 47 Meters Down title slapped onto it so that they could get a sequel, and this movie can make a lot of money, and that way we can get a trilogy, and probably even more movies, because that's what this movie is. It's just cash grab. This movie is horrible. It's horrendous! Shark movies like this have to commit more to being self-aware, to being that summer, cheesy entertainment where you can just shove popcorn in your face and have a good time. While there are unintentionally funny moments in this movie, there weren't enough until the last 5 minutes of the movie, which I'll get into later, to really bring it all home. These characters are so plastic. They're fake. They're cardboard. That's what these characters are. There are nothing to any of these 4 girls that you care about. So, when you predict who's gonna get ganked and all that, it's just like, you don't care, because you don't feel anything for these characters. There's not even a throwaway line where it's like, well, you have such and such, or you're from such and such, and you have a terrible past, or something. Nothing like that in this movie. They're just characters that dress in bikinis and go do dumb stuff in an underwater cavern, and like poking fish. Okay, myself, other people probably can't, but I can't talk about this movie without going into spoilers, so I am going to spoil some stuff in this review if you care about this movie at all. So you have been warned. Spoiler warning for 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. Like, literally, one of the girls in this movie, I think it's Sistine Stallone's character. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone's daughter is in this movie. Jamie Foxx's daughter is also in this movie. They're in this underwater cavern, and there's this fish. Now, the fish in this movie are blind. Because something with, like, they evolved in this Mayan city, so that made them blind. And the sharks are blind in this movie, so they rely on sounds and their hearing to attack people, which I think is kind of dumb. That just defeats all the tension in the room. But within this scene, Sistine Stallone's character literally sees a blind fish, a small blind fish, and is like, "Here, fishy, fishy," starts poking her fingers at it. Probably not the smartest idea, lady. Okay? Just saying, you shouldn't poke a fish if you're underwater. That thing is going to attack you. And what does it do? It attacks her. It's so lazy. It's one of the laziest ways to set up tension. It's a jump scare. That's all that scene is. It's a jump scare. Because you know the fish is going to attack her. You just try to pinpoint the exact moment when. Now, when the shark shows up in this movie, as I've said, it's blind. Possible end of spoilers here. Now, when the shark shows up, the way the tension is staged, there is no tension. Because it's literally one of the girls swimming in a dimly lit room. The lighting is down. There's very minimal lighting, but you can clearly see a giant shark in the background. This isn't like Jaws, where the suspense and the tension has your attention for most of the entire movie. When you show the shark full body in the background, that's bad. How do you build tension like that? Because it pops out and it just swims away in the background. There's nothing scary about that. I mean, yeah, a shark is attacking these girls, but there's nothing scary when you lower the lighting in your movie in this scene and a giant shark is still seen in the background just swimming and minding his own business. How lazy do you have to be with the tension? And going back to the characters for a minute, these have got to be the dumbest characters I've ever seen. Again, poking fish, like, I honestly don't. Going into an underwater cavern to investigate a Mayan city. Oh, we'll just go in there just to see what it looks like and then come out. Obviously, once you see something, you're going to want to explore more. These are literally the types of choices that characters make in this movie. They try to poke at fish. Somehow this girl's air is running out in her scuba suit, and it takes literally a half hour for it to almost reach zero when it's at 20%. There's no logic or sense or anything with this movie. And then there's a scene where the two main leads come out of the water and they're screaming for help. Guy has AirPods in his ears. Oh my god. There are some unintentionally hilarious parts in this movie. It's obviously trying to rip off the Samuel L. Jackson Deep Blue Sea death scene about 5 or 6 times, maybe 10 times. Every time that happened, though, I laughed. Like, there's this one guy that just gets ganked. He's giving a speech. He's telling these girls how to get out of this cavern, and then all of a sudden, a shark pops up and eats him. It's great. It's one of the funniest things in the movie. That's the thing. I wouldn't say that this movie is so bad it's good because it's funny. This is a really horrendous, poorly made movie with funny moments sprinkled throughout like that. Unfortunately, I wish more of the movie was like that. The biggest problem this movie has is being too serious. It takes itself too seriously. It thinks it is like Jaws, or it should be something like The Meg, or Deep Blue Sea. It should be more along the lines of that. It shouldn't be along the lines of Jaws or The Shallows. Now, The Shallows is kind of a movie that could be considered silly, but at the same time, a little bit more serious. But I think The Shallows balances those two tones well enough to form a cohesive movie. This just takes itself way too seriously and doesn't go as far over the top as it thinks it does. But the last 5 minutes of this movie, I was dying laughing. It is some of the best shark moments I've ever seen put on screen. It looks so bad. It just looked terrible. I wish the movie committed to that. Like, why couldn't the movie commit to that cheesiness? That's what this movie needed. That's what I feel like any shark movie not named Sharknado. Sharknado does not count. Any shark movie nowadays released in the summer needs. Oh, by the way, this is a shark movie released in the summer. Released on August 16th. 2 weeks after Shark Week. Apparently this movie still thinks it's Shark Week. Go away, movie. Just go away. This is a movie I really want to forget even exists. It's got cardboard characters who make really dumb decisions. They're just there to look pretty because they're all in bikinis. This movie has no sense of logic. It has no sense of sense. Where the fun moments are outweighed by the more serious, somber moments. And it's not a tone that really works well for this movie, unfortunately. It is very poorly directed as well. It's a very stylistic movie. There's a lot of slow-mo. There's some poor editing, like a character dies, she falls off a cliff, and she's literally screaming, but it's in slow motion. So her mouth is just wide open, and it looks like she's yawning. That's the type of dumb absurdity we're getting into with this movie, and it's not the good absurdity, unfortunately. This should have been The Meg. This should have been Deep Blue Sea. Unfortunately, it wasn't, though. It was nothing like the first one, either. The first one, at least, felt like a movie. Even though I didn't like it all that much, and I felt like it was just kind of, whatever, it's there, I would rather watch that over this. The last 5 minutes of this movie can't save that, unfortunately, and neither can those 10 Samuel L. Jackson Deep Blue Sea death scenes, which were hilarious. This is bad, guys. Do not see this movie. I'm going to give 47 Meters Down, Uncaged, an F. If I didn't see this movie with my brother, I probably would have walked out. Honestly. Honest to God. Just probably would have walked out. At least the last 5 minutes of the movie had me in stitches. I was dying laughing. I mean, you can ask him. You can ask him about my... Oh, man, my reaction to that. That was great. That was... Oh, man. Just a movie that defies logic. Cardboard characters who make dumb decisions, poor editing, and bad directing. Hollywood. Thank you for watching my review of 47 Meters Down, whatever this movie's called. I will leave all my links to my social media accounts in the description below. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.